And hello again, people. So just a quick one today, another Skoda Skoda Roomster 2013, and I did a video on one of these last week, another Skoda, and it was the same fault. It was the wiring loom in the door. It had broken. Now this one has been repaired in the past, if you can see some signs of old tape which I've removed. It was repaired, it was at least soldered, but most of them just pulled apart. So we're going to redo these all correctly, properly, but brings me to the point of this video, which is this is a common fault on a lot of V.A.G, Volkswagen Audi Group vehicles, such as Volkswagen, Skoda, Audi, Seat. To be honest, I've not actually done any on a Seat yet, but on the other three brands I have. But with them being more common, that's to be expected. But I'm seeing this more and more. It's clearly a design fault. I do not understand how the wires in there, when they're all tucked away, how they can break. I mean, yes, the door's opening and closing, but they're not really flexing that much. But when you open up these harnesses to look at the damage, I mean, if you look at the last video that I did, the cuts are so clean. It really looks like they've been cut through. It does not look like a, I mean, how many times would you need to bend a piece of wire for it to eventually break? You're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and that's properly bending it from one side to the other. These aren't bending that much. I mean, they're flexing probably, you know, like no more than 45 degrees when the door's closing, and still I'm seeing, well, it's clearly a common fault. I'm sure there's going to be other people out there with this issue. If you're having intermittent windows not working, your window switch is not working, mirror adjustment not working, locks not locking, then you are going to find that it's going to be a broken loom. It could potentially be a dodgy module, broken old module, old door lock that needs replacing, but 9 times out of 10 I'm finding it's the wiring loom. So how is this possible? I'm not really seeing it on other brands. Yes, it does happen. I have seen it on other cars before, but it's not a common issue on any other brands as far as I know, other than V.A.G. And for German engineering and manufacturing, you would expect a bit more. You know, this is something that's been in vehicles for well, ever since we've had electric windows. That's when we started to get wiring looms. But yeah, it's real poor design, and I don't really understand how it's possible. So if anyone else is having issues with their Skoda, Volkswagen or Audi windows, electrics, door electrics, then it's going to be this issue. So I will just film the repair here. It's clearly going to be, what you do to repair these is you don't just cut them, strip them back and then rejoin them, because you're going to make the loom too short. You have to put a bit of wire in between. So get the correct gauge for the power and the earth. They have to be a certain gauge, a thicker gauge than the other signal wires, so to speak. As you can see, the previous auto electrician or mechanic has replaced this thick gauged earth cable with this thin orange cable, which is going to heat up, potentially create resistance. So it won't hold as much current as this will. So this needs upgrading to something a bit more heavy duty, which I've got here, 5 amp. So that should do it. But yeah, we'll do the repair now. I'll show you all tidied up, refitted. I took the door panel off. There was no need to do that. I was going to see if I could get the loom, get some more length on the loom, which I did manage to do, but I didn't really need to take the door panel off to do that. So you don't need to take the door panel off to do this, but I will show you just the finished results once we've got the soldering done, and yeah, get it all back together. So just about to do the first wire repair. Just added a bit of black 5 amp cable wire in for this is the power feed that I'm going to be doing. You can see it stripped off over here, ready to be rejoined. So just twisted it up. We've got one of these solder sleeves over. You can just add solder here, or you can, if you've got these solder sleeves, you can use these. I use these solder sleeves just because they're a bit easier. And then heat them up, or resolder, whichever way you're going to do the repair, but as long as it's soldered. Don't use block connectors or quick connectors or anything like that. It has to be a soldered connection. And I'm not sure if you can see, but the solder's just leaking into the, seeping into the cable now, into the wire. We'll hit it from underneath a little bit as well. And then I'll just shrink these down. So that's one. There you go. So repeat that with all the broken wires. So resolder. Here you can see the other way of doing it. It's just a resolder. If you're going to do that, do it. Yeah, wrap them this way so that they're the same. They run at the same. Yeah, so it's one cable, so it's not splitting off into a Y shape like this, because this makes it. If you insulate this and put these back in the loom, these sharp bits stick through the tape and they will make contact with other sharp bits sticking through the tape, and then you get short circuit. So this is not the correct way to do it. You have to wrap the wires like I've just shown you there, so twist them. I'll carry on with the rest of the repairs now, and then I'll insulate it and let you see the finished result. This one's going to be tricky because it's short. Be careful not to snip it even shorter when you're stripping them back, because once you run out, you're stuffed. You'll have to repin it. Get a sleeve on there. That's the problem. Didn't see that. I've got it here, haven't I? Alright, sleeve on. These wires are a bit too long actually. You can see they're curving. You don't want that. You want them to be sort of the same length as they were before, or maybe slightly longer. I like to have more to work with though, rather than less. I'll make it work. Another one done. Right, we'll get finished up and then I'll show you the end result. So there's the finished product. Some of them are a bit too long, but I'll just curl them round, wrap them up, and they'll be fine. So all reconnected. Let's get the insulation tape back on and get it all tidy. Uh-oh, I see corrosion in these two bottom pins. Darn it, I'm gonna have to have a look at that, 1 sec. Yeah, so there's actually two corroded pins on this connector, two bottom ones, and I'll well, try and show you what I'm seeing. If we have a look in the mirror, can you see those bottom two pins? It's like green crust around them. Yeah, we're gonna have to clean those up. So we use some contact cleaner as such, and we will give the connector a clean the terminal up, and then we'll get it back together. Ooh, wasp. So that's it, reconnected, all back together. It's not fitting 100% at the top here. I've had to squeeze it on to make it fit. It was a bit of a tight push, but it is just about fit over there now. So we'll get the door panel back on, and that is the end of the repair for this. Everything was working on this door intermittently, so yeah, now it will be continuously okay. So yeah, that's how you do the repair on a V.A.G. Group door wiring loom. If it's been helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would help us greatly and allow us to make more videos in the future. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Greatly helps the channel. Okay, thanks for watching. See you again soon.